Hi guys, welcome to my three-ring circus, because that's what it feels like right now over here. Hi, welcome to my weekly Facebook Live show. I'm Jen Burson. I'm the founder of Generation PR and Generation, the overall branded house with Generation PR, which is our full service PR agency, Generation Academy, our entire suite of programs that are geared towards PR professionals to help you raise up your skill set, your earning potential, your satisfaction in your career, all the things. And we are the owner. We are the owner of PR Couture as well. And like I said, it's a three-ring circus. I'm talking to customer support about a challenge I'm having with something. And I don't want to lose. I've been like on customer service hold for so long. You guys know how that it is, and you can't like navigate away because then you lose all your progress. Hi, Nelson. Hi guys, welcome. I have construction going on at my house. We've been waiting for this tile to come in for 3 months. Got my contractor back here installing the tile, and 50% of the boxes we ordered are completely smashed in multiple pieces, not just like, we first were like, a couple are broken, and we got to the last case and they're all broken. Sorry. So, just trying to get that going because, I just, more than anything, I'm thinking about my team that's here, the contractor, the electrician, everybody that finally came back with some work to do. And, I didn't want them to have any downtime. And now it's looking like there's not going to be anything to do because there's no material to install. And I want them to go and get other jobs, which means that we are then on hold again. So it's a little frustrating, especially because we waited so long. And like I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but what can you do? I mean, it's all broken, like multiple pieces, which is so frustrating when you wait so long for something. It always tends to happen. But I'm really happy to check in every week with you guys. This is like honestly one of my favorite things that I do every single week. And it means so much to me that you are all here. And I just hope to keep bringing content that resonates. So we've had some people share some things that they want to hear from us about, training and discussions. We're listening in the group. Hi, Serena, my darling dear. It's so nice to see you. We're listening in the group, and we're, listening to what our audience messages us about and asks us about. And today's topic about growth goals in your PR agency is one that many of our community members are coming to us for, and it's what I'm really here to help you do in, just as my sort of like founding value. Yes, please. Sorry. And we are sorry. I'm so sorry that I'm like a little bit distracted, just trying to like not get this guy. I've been dealing with him for about 45 minutes. So I don't want to lose my progress. So we want to help you set yourself up and your agency up for success, even given the changing media landscape. We know things are changing, and that's fine. It happens, right? I wouldn't want to be part of a dying industry that didn't evolve, that just became obsolete. Actually, just a little story about that. My husband, before he left and went to his own, pursue entrepreneurship and start running his own business, helping business owners sell when they're ready to move on from their businesses. He was working at a company called Technicolor, which is in the entertainment post-production services industry. And he was helping them when I met him manufacture DVDs, okay, like from a project implementation perspective. So he was certified in a system called SAP. He was living in Mexico at the time, working in their DVD manufacturing plant that was pressing 500,000 DVDs per day, okay? And he was extremely busy. He worked on this implementation of the system in that factory. He led a team of 45 that were not primarily English speakers. He was living in Guadalajara at the time when I met him. I just thought it was all very, very cool and interesting, like a cool life experience. And he worked on that implementation for a year and then was ready to go and kind of do something else. And Technicolor, from that peak when he was like top of his career, just kept going downhill, downhill, downhill. And it was like they had cornered the market on these certain post-production services, but they never saw digital coming. They just didn't see digital coming. And all of their post-production services are extremely expensive. You had to have Avid machines and Edit Bays. Now, any kid with an iMac and iMovie can create the same quality kinds of post-production content. People aren't purchasing DVDs anymore. Everything's on demand, or, maybe you own it, but it's a digital copy. And his company just never saw digital coming, and they didn't evolve. What? Okay, now they're saying I can't get replacement tile. Awesome. I'm literally like halfway through installing this tile in my house. It's never a dull moment. Okay, so this company is like swirling the drain because they just never allowed themselves to adapt or evolve. And my husband fortunately got out. It was a great company. They put him through business school. So that's why he has no business school debt, which is an incredible gift. But like, how do you not evolve? You got to evolve to stay alive. And that's what we do in this industry. And I'd rather be part of an industry that changes and evolves with the times than just refuses to see it coming and then dies a slow, painful death, right? And I know we're seeing a lot of like heritage publications shutter print, but they're moving online, again, evolving, changing. And we still want to be let me just get this guy on his merry way. Sorry guys, and then I'll be done. Sorry. Hi, I bet that's Chrissy. Anyway, okay, let's ignore them from now on. So we're evolving. We like that. And I'm here to help you evolve your business so that you can be successful and profitable in the changing media landscape. We're going to talk about 4 key skills that are going to help you reach your long-term and your short-term goals, and why having a thick skin is also so important in PR. So we know that as entrepreneurs, and especially as PR pros, we need to focus on continual growth, setting goals and working strategically towards achieving them. But what skills, we talked a little bit about this last week, actually a lot. Last week's was long. We're turning it into 2 podcast episodes. But what skills do you need or can you cultivate that will help actually facilitate the most growth in your career and your business? Okay, so let's talk about that, because I see these things as skills that can be honed, that can be improved, that can be taught. And I think that they are key to your long-term success. So the 4 skills that'll help you as PR pros continue to foster long-term growth. The first one is having the ability to distill. Hello, Sasha. Hi, my newest friend. You just had your birthday. Is that right? Happy birthday, right? Yes, happy birthday. Learning to translate complex topics and simplify, distill complex ideas, complex thoughts down to simple, digestible, easy to comprehend. Ricky! Oh my God, where have you been? I miss you. Catch me up, Ricky. I need to know everything. How's it going? Oh my gosh, tell me everything. Okay, cool. I got the info I need. I think we're done over here. Let me just make sure before they close the window that I copy the information so I have it. Okay. Okay, we're going to distill complex topics. So we often get handed subjects. No, I didn't. I need to see it. Uh-oh. Everything okay? Terrible sandwich mom? Uh-oh. In my mind, I'm thinking sandwich generation, like you've got kids and you've got parents and you're like in the sandwich of like managing and taking care of everybody's needs and probably not your own, but I don't think that's what you mean. To me, it sounds like you made a bad sandwich. Oh, okay. I have to go look. Okay. So we are often handed things. Oh my God, what? Boys brutal. That was you? I saw that. Oh my God, Ricky. No way. Oh my God. I saw that. That was so cute. I did not. Oh my God, I have to go look. That's so funny. I have to watch that. I saw the clip, but I didn't see that it went like viral, like on GMA. That's crazy. How does it feel? Oh my God, it's been insane. How crazy, Ricky. Oh my God, I can't wait to check into that. Congrats? Is that like a congrats are in order? I don't know. It's kind of crazy. So let me just see. No. He knows I'm in a meeting. No, thank you. Okay. Now I can say bye-bye to this guy and say, focus on you guys. So we get subjects that maybe we don't know a lot about. This is why I love for us to hone deep subject matter expertise so you can just like pick up on things really quickly. But sometimes you're working at an agency or you get a client that has some new innovation, some new technology, or you start working in a niche that it's really technical and you're learning a lot about. Like my client with the LED face masks, we have to learn about the infrared, near infrared, red light, blue light, the benefits of each light type and the waves and what benefit it has for the skin and how many lights and are they backed by independent research, and like that technical piece was just thrown in our lap and we had to really understand how that works and how to become experts at it. So part of our role as PR pros is to take these complex ideas, complex information, distill it into something that's compelling and clickable and newsworthy and immediately understandable. And that's not easy to do, right? So it's really important for all of us as PR pros to have good research skills. And then you can dive in and understand and translate and really research to understand the distinctions between your clients and their competitors and be able to communicate complex information into solutions and simple messaging. Okay? That's important for us as PR pros. That's the first skill that is going to help you foster continual and long-term growth. Learning to translate complex ideas and complex topics, distilling them down into simple, easily understood concepts, and compelling, of course. Okay, that's one. Two is let's stay curious. Be curious about things. To be a successful PR professional, you have to stay curious, ask questions. What questions are people going to ask? I know I'm getting hit up over here. What are your kind of common questions that get asked of your niche, your types of clients? What do you anticipate might come next when you send out an idea or have a pitch idea? what might the follow-up be, because that will help you develop pitches that will resonate. Hi, Kelly. Nice to see you. And you always need to seek out opportunities to challenge your thinking, be curious, learn about things. The kind of interesting thing about staying curious is that I have noticed, and I have also heard research, that being curious, asking questions, going deeper makes you very likable. When you interact with people and you start to ask them questions, and then instead of moving on to the next topic, you start asking them deeper questions about what you asked them about. Let's say, for example, and I tried this, and it was like really interesting because so I was at back to school night. I kind of heard this concept of like, people are more likable and you make a better impression and people are drawn to you when you are curious about them. People like to talk about themselves. Not that that's a negative, but when you show interest, there's this feeling that there's a connection, right? So I went to back to school night at my kids' school, or I guess it was, anyway, I was at a back to school night, and there was a mom there that I've known for, at this point, probably 7 years. And it's always, hi, how are you? You know, we have a lot in common. She's also an attorney. She's still practicing. We have kids with some similar needs. And I just decided to like spend a little more time being curious. And I asked them about, you know, maybe like their spring break and where did they go on vacation. And then when they told me, I asked them what they liked about it. You know, did the kids like it? Where did they stay? They talked about an experience that they had, and I asked more about that experience. You know, that must have been really cool. Like, how did the kids react to it? What was it like for them to be, you know, on this trip together? Like, I just got a little deeper and deeper and deeper and just kept asking questions. They were like good questions. It wasn't like, why is this woman grilling me? But it was like, I was interested and curious. And this mom I've talked to for 7 years, always very friendly, always, hi, how are you? Good, how are you? Basic surface level chat, reached out to me and was like, I really loved connecting with you at back to school night. I don't even think we talked at all about me, which was fine, but it was like I got to have this connection, right? I was really curious. I learned so much about her family. I learned about, they went to Costa Rica. I had been to Costa Rica, but I hadn't been where they were. I learned so much about that. It was like interesting to learn about it, but we did form this connection. So this is interesting. If you are people like people who are interesting, but also interested, try it out in your next conversation when you're with someone, even if you've known them forever. Be interested. This is the staying curious, asking questions, asking follow-up questions. And what you can do with this skill is you're seeking out opportunities that can challenge your thinking. You know, be curious, always be learning, anticipate sometimes with your pitches, or when you're talking to clients, anticipate what may follow from what they're telling you when you pitch it out. What are going to be the follow-up questions? So you can be ready for that. And, you know, ask as many questions, go as deep as you can in order to be prepared and to learn as much as you can about the topic. And then when your media contacts come back to you with a follow-up question, you already know the answer, or you can anticipate that's probably coming next and include that in the information you share with them at the outset. But separately, being a curious person, being interested when you have conversations will help deepen your relationships. You know, really being present with that person you're talking to. paying attention to them, not being distracted by the phone. That's why I'm so deeply sorry. I'm like, I'm chatting with Home Depot because I got 5 boxes of tile I waited 3 months for, and they are all broken in 5 pieces each. I'm glad that that conversation is over because I want to be connected here. But being interesting and interested is going to help, deepen your relationships with people and your connections, and you'll learn a lot. And just give it a try. Be curious when you have your next interaction with someone. Focus on them, what they're saying. Ask follow-up questions. Go deeper and watch what happens. It's amazing. Honestly, it's like one of the key, when there's people that are just magnetic, right? Like people always describe like Barack Obama like this, or Bill Clinton. They always remember things about you, and it makes you feel important. They come in the room and they're interested in you, and it makes you feel important. Not just because they are who they are, but they have this ability to focus in on these conversations and be curious, to make a connection. What's going on with you, and really going deep. And that has a huge impact on how you make people feel, has a huge impact on your likability, right? You're not selfish. It's not about you. It's about the connection. It's about getting to know them more and making them feel seen and making them feel like they matter, okay? Sidebar on that, but it's really interesting because you guys know, or you don't know, but I'm a certified high performance coach. I am running a small group through our coaching methodology. None of my little core beta group is on right now, but it is so awesome. And this piece of being really deeply interested is part of what high performers know and how they get ahead in life. And it's not superficial or like a tactic. It's just a way to be, right? Give me a thumbs up or a heart if that resonates. Yeah, it's so true. Or Ricky has, tried it, or maybe just lives that way. There's certain people you're like, I really like that person. It's because they're interested in you. It's because they're interested in what you have to say. They're curious about you, right? Like one of the women in my program's like, I go on these dates and I just ask all the questions and men never really ask me about me. And I'm like, but I bet they really like you because you're curious and interested in them because you're asking the questions. They don't get that you're not feeling the connection because they're not asking about you, but they probably like you because you are seeing them and making them feel important, right? Yeah, thumbs up. So that's 2. Stay curious, just so that you always have the open mind to challenge your thinking and be curious and learn and know that we don't know everything about everything. I mean, there's always more to learn on I don't care if you are the foremost authority on a subject in the world. Always be learning. Kobe Bryant, always practicing. Best basketball player, never stopped practicing. My constitutional law professor, Erwin Chemerinsky, the foremost authority on the Constitution in the world, and he's still writing opinion papers. He's still learning about how to, how the Constitution works and sharing it and open to other people's thinking on, like how the Supreme Court is interpreting constitutional matters. He says not well, but he's very liberal. He's amazing. If you don't know who he is, Erwin Chemerinsky, he's very, 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 very smart and interesting, and he is always curious and learning. The third is be adaptable. We know it's always changing in our industry, and we have to be flexible. Again, don't be Technicolor. Remember, I was like, don't be Spirit Airlines, be Gucci when it came to customer service. And I had a story example for both. Don't be Technicolor, my husband's company, that is literally like swirling the drain. They didn't adapt. And we know that we have to stay adaptable. It's going to help you navigate challenges, help you avoid mishaps and missteps with clients. And you do need to develop a thick skin in your business. We know that working with clients can be tricky. Working with media pros is tricky. And it's hard not to, but you cannot take things personally. It's not personal, it's business. And it's really hard when you get so deeply personally invested in your clients and their success. Your success and your PR work is their success, but it also is so important to you. It's so meaningful. It's your body of work. It's your outputs that show you get the job done, that you do the job well. And I mean, we've had clients where we are literally like crushing it, where I'm like, I cannot believe how well we are doing. This is amazing. You know, to the point where like there's an award here somewhere for one of my campaigns. And I've told you guys, I literally hit send on the application and was like, we're gonna win. And we beat out like big major national beauty brands and their campaigns for this specific campaign we did for this beauty brand. And the second I hit send on our application, I got a text from my team that they fired us. Obviously unrelated, but the timing of things like that is like, what? And that was honestly one of those moments where I was really taken aback. Like, what? Like, am I something? Did I miss something? And the reality was we were a stepping stone. We did such a good job. They were ready and they thought that they would get better someplace else. And I know a lot of you here have heard that story before and you're all like, good luck with that. But they ditched us and went to a big firm. And I can't take that personally. You know, if somebody likes name brands and labels, they're not going to take a firm that's just a workhorse, you know, that just gets results. They need cachet. And that's okay. That has nothing to do with anything I did. I did a great job. They even said so, but it hurt, you know. But you can't take things personally, especially in business and with clients. Things don't work out, budgets change. It's really, really hard when you know you are doing an exceptional job and the client fires you or doesn't renew or can't continue or whatever. But if you put in the hard work and you know that you are adapting to the changing times and using those skills to guide them through, then there's not much you can do. Also, media, we can do the best job possible, write the most compelling pitches that are totally spot on. And there's someone on the other end that either doesn't get back to you or says not right now, or said, I am not really covering this at the moment. And those results are out of your hands. And that's really hard. And it's very challenging when you pitch the media and you hear crickets to not feel like, what am I doing wrong? This is the nature of the business that we chose. There's a lot about our success in getting results that just is out of our hands. So develop a thick skin. Doesn't mean be unemotional. I think being emotional is a gift because you can empathize, you can see other people's perspective and point of view. There's so much value in having an emotional connection to the work you're doing, passionate, not fanatical, like, crazy, but really passionate. You believe in it, you care about it, it matters to you. That's fantastic. But on the other side of that, if things out of your control, decisions are made, that's business and that's okay. Clients are going to come and go. It's nothing personal. And that's why I teach in the Agency Accelerator a strategy for filling your pipeline. So if somebody goes, that's okay. We'll go back to our proven process. We'll get the right kind of clients in the door. We'll leverage the results we've already gotten. Hell, we'll take the results we got for that client and leverage those results. Like, you did a great job. Those outputs are yours to own and claim and leverage to build your business, And by the way, take the strategy that was working for this brand and go find a competitor. Ready to go, done for you. Let's go. It's already working. Let's just plug you in, right? So that's yours to own. Be adaptable. Being emotional is a great thing. Passionate, love it. I get told all the time on sales calls, I love how passionate you are about your work, or like how passionate you are about our brand. Yeah, that's why I'm talking to you, because I'm excited. I get tons of inquiries of things that I'm not passionate about, and I don't pursue those because that's not work I want to do. So, be adaptable, things change, and if you have a thick skin, it is helpful, but that's okay, not at the expense of being passionate and emotional about the work you're doing. The fourth, what are we calling these? Skills? What are we calling these? Skills to help foster continual and long-term growth is having impeccable communication skills. So communicating succinctly and effectively your client's brand messaging, as well as communicating in a healthy and positive way with media pros that will help you form lasting relationships. That's really critical to our long-term success. And then obviously, as you build your team, which is going to be essential to scaling your business, and obviously we talk about this so much inside the Agency Accelerator, communication is essential in that relationship as well. So communicating expectations with clients, communicating with them what their expectations should be. Not them telling you what their expectations are. If those are unreasonable, you have to reset them, and you have to be open to having those hard conversations, because you're never going to fit or satisfy unreasonable expectations, and you're just setting yourself up for failure, because the client's never going to be happy. Is that my doorbell? No. Client's never going to be happy. They're never going to be happy if they have expectations that you're certain are just so unreasonable. They're not going to be met, but you're not confident enough to share what really is going to happen to the point where you're able to reset their expectations and set up your relationship for success. Otherwise, 6 months, they're gone. They didn't meet our expectations. Well, no crap. You could have told them that 6 months ago, that their expectations were not reasonable. Maybe they're not reasonable in that timeline, or maybe the kinds or the volume of features that they're expecting are not reasonable for their brand or for their budget or for where they are in the marketplace. You have to tell them that. You can't, under deliver and over promise. You will lose your business over time. So having the ability to communicate with clients in a positive way, impeccable communication, being able to really quickly and easily distill down, like I said in the first one, and communicate that brand messaging and have healthy, good, productive conversations with your clients, with your team as you build your team, communicating expectations to them, communicating when there might be something that's a little bit off, what's going on, let's have a conversation. A lot of problems fester in your business when your mind starts to think, what's going on here? Instead of just addressing it head on and having an open dialogue and like nipping it in the bud and working towards a solution, people will sit and fester. And their imagination runs wild, and it's like, what's going on here? Why aren't they happy? And you're just like in a spiral, and it's not healthy. So we're comms pros. It's like in the title of what we do. Having the ability to communicate, have hard conversations. Sometimes an email is actually a phone call. You know what I'm saying? A lot gets lost in translation. If you find yourself behind a keyboard, like pounding away with a lot of emotion, deleting, changing words, all of that, that's a conversation. That's probably not something that should be sent over email. Do you know what I mean? And that's like, my husband pushes me to do that. And I'm like, I don't want to have that conversation. It's not going to be a fun conversation. He's like, it's not fun, but it's the only way you're going to solve this issue. It's the only way you're going to move forward. Otherwise he's like, they type this and then you reply back. And what do they mean by this? And why was this all caps? And it's not healthy. Same goes for friendships, relationships. Look at those thumbs up. Yeah. I mean, it's hard. Like, you got to be the adult and be like, let's have a conversation. And nobody wants to have an awkward conversation, but those have better outcomes. Everybody's understood more. everybody's heard more, you know? And also things that are said over email are like, even if you're super careful, it can be hurtful or lost in translation or misrepresented or whatever, misunderstood. Just get on the phone, say, hey, do you have 15 minutes to chat? Even if you're on your way somewhere, let's just have a call about this. And, take control of a situation like that. But with clients as well, if there's something like, we need to raise rates, we're adding services or you're adding services and that costs more, we need to talk about scope, that's a conversation. It's awkward. It's super awkward. Like, give me more money. And they're like, I don't want to give you more money. And you're like, but you got to give me more money if you want that thing you're asking for. Yeah, you can type away against email, but a conversation is going to get to the bottom of what you need and why, and have them really understand this is something that is out of scope. And in order to move forward, there needs to be an increase in budget. We'll lock in the contract. Let's go. Let's have this conversation. A lot of early PR agency owners want to do everything over email, and that's just not the way to be. For hard conversations, pitch over email, unless a journalist is like, can you talk? You got to get on the phone. But when it comes to matters of dealing with complicated situations with your team, with a client, get on the phone. That's the best way to go about it. So our 4 skills, to recap, these are going to help you as a PR professional foster continual long-term growth in your career and as a business owner. 1, you have to learn to translate complex topics, distill it down into digestible, easy to understand concepts that will be compelling, and you can easily communicate that and someone will easily understand. 2, stay curious. Ask questions, ask follow-up questions. And I gave a little bonus tip that this is great for interpersonal relationships. This is where people feel really seen, they feel heard, they feel important, they feel like they matter, because you continue to probe and get to the, soft, juicy center, the Tootsie Roll inside the Tootsie Pop. Like, you're getting to the good stuff because you're asking follow-up questions. As a PR pro, you get handed subjects you don't really know a lot about. You have to become an expert in it. You have to be curious, ask the right questions, and understand, what may come next when you pitch it out. 3, be adaptable. You have to be able to evolve with the changing media landscape. That's why you're here. We are continuing to grow our offerings of training, free training on topics, training that's already included in our membership of the Pitch Lab, so that our members are on top of the evolving media landscape. They're learning the rules of the game and they're navigating with their clients how to play the game successfully, and also having a thick skin so that if things are out of your control and clients leave or they're not happy for whatever reason or whatever, you can continue on with your day with grace, dust it off, and keep going, because we're not taking it personally. You can be bummed for a little bit, but you can't stew on it because it's not productive. There's out of your control. It's nothing about you. It's about them, and that's fine. And then the 4th is that was being adaptable, and 4, impeccable communication, being able to deal with client brand messaging. If their messaging is not great, we just had to do this for a client, getting in there and finding out how to set it out in the market from their competition and even from their other products. Being really good at communicating brand messaging, having a healthy, positive relationship with clients and with your team as you build them and as you grow and scale your agency, which is like the 4th pillar in the 3rd and 4th pillar. The 3rd is sales. The 4th is scale. So strategy, sales, service, scale. Those are the 4 pillars inside the Agency Accelerator. And actually, if you want to learn what steps that you need to take to grow and scale a profitable, successful agency on your terms, I have this PR agency action plan. I just dropped it right there. download it and you can see exactly what I'm talking about in terms of the different pillars that you need to implement in your business. I show you my entire path of profitability framework. And Kathy, I see your comment. Yes, I recently had a hard conversation with a client regarding scope and fees. And how did it turn out? How was the conversation? Was it hard? Sometimes you have to get into the headspace that you need to be in to have a successful conversation. So you say to yourself, who am I in this exchange before you even get on the phone? How am I showing up? If someone were going to watch me after this conversation and say, wow, I was listening in and Kathy was really confident. She was really professional. She was extremely articulate, and she was really understanding yet commanding. Okay? Like if I had a hard conversation and someone said that about me after the fact, I'd be like, victory, right? Think about that. And that's how you show up to the call. You're not defensive. You're not lacking confidence and sort of making a case for something that you're not super confident or don't really believe in, right? Had to do that this week also. Good. I love it, you guys. Way to take charge and advocate for yourselves and get what you are owed in terms of scope and fees. Sometimes clients' services go way outside of scope and you're like, well, I'm already doing the job and that's what I quoted, so I guess I have to keep going. No, you don't have to keep going. If scope increased, your rate can increase. That's totally fine. How are you showing up to that discussion? Who are you going to be in that call? So that somebody looking in, if they happen to be listening in, would say, you know what? Chrissy was on that call and she was a boss. She was really smooth and confident and really effective in communicating what the reason was for the increase in scope. Unapologetic. It was just, it was what it was. Not cold, not closed off, effective. Just a very effective communicator, and really somehow demonstrated this was a partnership with the client. This is the mindset I get in before big calls. I will tell myself, if someone listened in and said these things about me, then I did it right. And I will continually remind myself. Sometimes I will put it on a Post-it note and stick it on my computer right here. I have a big screen like this big, not covering my screen, but reminding myself. I did this with my son too. He was having problems connecting with some kids in camp and in school and kind of being a real asshole, to be honest with you, to the point where he's punished for 2.5 months because of something he did. And I said, did you like what you did in that interaction? He's like, no. And I said, do you want people to describe you the way that they would describe you based on how you showed up in that one interchange with the kid? And he was like, no. I said, well, if you could listen in on your classmates and your friends describe you, and they said 3 things. Jack is what? What 3 things would you want them to say about you? And he said, Jack is kind, Jack is smart, and Jack is funny. And so I wrote them on a Post-it and I put them on the back of his door. And I say it to him all the time. I remind him. And he also added a couple of his own notes on the Post-it about how he wants to show up in the world. I remind him, think about yourself. And when you're in an interaction, because he has poor sportsmanship, he's very competitive for someone who literally doesn't practice anything and just thinks he should be the best at everything. But he has bad sportsmanship. And I'll say, when you're playing your game, remember, you want to show up as a smart, kind, and funny person, not bad sportsmanship, not angry, not, it's okay to be emotional. It's okay to be emotional. I do that with my brand coaching clients. Chrissy, is that you also again? Yeah. Yeah. How do you want to be with branding? How do you want to be seen in the world? What do you want people to take away as your core values? How do you want them to feel when they interact with your brand? How do you want them to feel when they interact with you? That's part of the number 2, staying curious. When you ask them follow-up questions, they feel like they matter. They feel seen. They feel important. Not that that's negative, like you're doing it and it's like you're giving them this fake feeling. No, you are curious and you're asking them. And the byproduct of that is a deep connection, because now they feel seen by you. They feel like they matter. Like you cared about what they're up to. So to wrap up the story about my son, I went to back to school night and they had these like self-portraits where it was like half their face. And he did his skin so dark because he's like, I'm so tan. He thinks he's so tan, which compared to me, he is. Like, I can't believe I have a kid who is as, like olive skin tone. My husband has olive skin, but like this kid is beautiful. I mean, I would like love to have his skin tone. It's amazing. But he made half his face like super dark, where he's like this, bronze god. And then the other half are all of his interests. There's like a tennis racket and a skateboard, mountains, because we like to go hiking a lot. And then it said, I am kind, I am smart, and I am funny. And I was like, oh my God, it's resonating. Like he's taking it in, huh? Like, so if you remind yourself on these challenging conversations, how you want to show up, how you want to be perceived, who are you projecting in this conversation? It's a great way to step into things. It's a great way to step into that authority, that confidence, and really have control about how you show up in the world and who you show up as in the world. And also, you can do this with individual people in your life. And you see them and it's a trigger. You're reminded of how you interact with them, what they need from you, and how you can give them that through your presence and the way you show up in your interactions with them. For example, like the word partnership is my word for my husband. And so when he talks to me, rather than being like through a wife lens of like, well, this is annoying because that means that he's going to go on this trip and I have to go take the kids every day to school for 3 or 4 days when he's out of town, and then he'll be tired because he's getting home at midnight, and like, that's not a partner. That's an annoyed wife, right? So if my husband says, hey, I have a boys trip planned, he goes once a year. He actually canceled it. It was supposed to be this week. He was going to get back last night at midnight. He canceled it from COVID, like aftermath. So he was super bummed. But I have to tell myself partnership. So I just think about what my partner needs from me. How can I be the best partner to him in this moment? How can I support him as a partner? Not as a wife that's like, it's so annoying. He's going to be out of town. I have to do everything with the kids, take them to all their lessons and their therapy, and take them to school and all the things because I have no help. That's not a partnership. That's an individual feeling like I'm having something impact me as an individual. What does my partner need from me? And it's changed our relationship. It's changed our relationship. So think about that. But again, to recap, 4 skills every PR pro needs to foster continual and long-term growth. Translate those complex topics, simplify them, distill them down, stay curious, be adaptable, and always have impeccable communication as you work through relationships with your clients, as you work through relationships with your growing team. We teach all this stuff about scaling and growing, building your dream team in the Agency Accelerator. And you know what? I'm going to drop this link again about the steps that you can take to start, grow, and scale a successful agency on your terms. This is my PR Agency Action Plan. It's free, and it's my path to profitability model that I teach: strategy, sales, service, scale. And I'll show you exactly what goes into each pillar so that you can build a profitable agency on your terms. That's what I have for you today. I know there are quite a few of you on here. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll stay on for another minute. Working on the patio, started putting in the tile. It's so beautiful. And now I have 5 broken boxes, so we are at a standstill. So annoying, but that's okay. We will deal with it. A new mindset of knowing my value, worth, and what I brought to the table helped foster the conversation. We just talked about your value and knowing your worth. Did you watch the Facebook Live last week, any chance, Kathy? Is that kind of like how did you cultivate that mindset? Because this is exactly what we talked about last week. If you guys missed it, it's long. It's 90 minutes. It was actually a really long training. I had a lot there. So we are going to run it as a podcast with 2 different episodes. You are so welcome, Sasha. It was your birthday, am I right? Am I like making that up? I feel like it was. Oh, yes, and thank you. Yes, you said it was. Okay, I missed that. Yes. Again, happy birthday. But Kathy, I'd be curious, how did you cultivate that mindset? Because you said new, which I love. That's a choice. Oh, hello, Lily. Oh, I'm so happy you're here. Thank you so much for that beautiful note that you sent to us. I clipped it and I look at it. And it means so much to me that you shared that wonderful feedback with me. You did. Well, happy 21st birthday again. Yeah, me too. Just keeping it. I feel like I'm 32. I'm going to just stay at 32 because that's like kind of where I feel like I landed. So Lily, I so appreciate you. I'm so grateful you're here. And thank you for sharing that wonderful feedback. Oh, thank you. Hearts. I got my heart. A lot of affirmations and meditation. That is awesome. And you know what? Kathy would probably also say that takes consistency. It's not a one-time thing. Having Forever 21, having a mindset. This is also part of having a growth mindset. Continually learning, meditation to quiet your mind, calm your mind, quiet your thoughts, even when negative ones kind of pop up. That's like a muscle you can exercise. I mean, not an actual muscle, but, and affirmations. This is the true impact of it, and change happens when you do these things consistently. It's like with everything. You want immediate results? I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. You have to really commit to making a transformation by being consistent and taking small, consistent actions. That's one of the big tenets of this high performance coaching that I learned. It's not like, big sweeping change. It's subtle, small, incremental, but consistent actions that bring about major change. If you're curious about that concept, read Atomic Habits. I think it's by James Clear. Very simple, concept, but very powerful. And even if things are not happening as fast as you would like, trust the process. And I love that. And if you want even more, Kathy, last week we did a long discussion. I didn't talk about meditation so much in that, but we did talk about confidence in the value that you provide and having that mindset. It's a big deal. Celebrating my birthday this year, participating in the Fab Over 40 contest with New Beauty Magazine. Yay! Is there some way we can support you, Sasha, with like a link to vote or anything that you need from us? Let us know. That's what this community is all about. And I'm going to have to go. I'm doing a one-on-one coaching session with a member of our community right now. I don't know if you guys know that I offer that. It's awesome. I love like getting in there. I helped one of our one-on-one coaching clients share the link. Awesome. Okay. Win a proposal. They had been like throwing their hat in the ring for a lot of different opportunities and not winning. And we like really went through and dissected it, and she won. And I'm like so happy. I'm like, yay. And I have another one that I'm helping to niche down and develop case studies to really draw in that ideal client. So it's stuff I teach inside Agency Accelerator, but the one-on-one aspect, a lot of people really like getting individual like focus on that. And then another one I work with on sort of like agency growth when it comes to the team and structuring the team, figuring out where their need, like, so that all the people are in all the right seats on the bus. Like, you can have talented people, but if they're not on the right seats, you're not using them to their best ability. So assessing their personalities, their skill set, and assigning different roles in the structure to them so that they're all in the right seats and the bus drives smoothly to a profitable and easy business. Anyway, so that's what I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful for all of you showing up and hanging out with me. And I will be back next week, hopefully with some tile on the way that I won't have to wait 3 months for. So be well, and I will see you guys real soon. Take care. Bye. And don't forget, who are you going to show up in the world in your next interaction? Be curious, ask questions, decide who you're going to be and how you're going to project yourself in a situation before you have a difficult conversation. It is life-changing. Try it out. Let me know how it goes. Bye, guys.